Call to Love, Meditations by Anthony de Mello. The books of Father Anthony de Mello were written in a multi-religious context to help the followers of other religions, agnostics, and atheists in their spiritual search, and they were not intended by the author as manuals of instruction of the Catholic faithful in Christian doctrine or dogma. Presentation. The meditations in this volume are not some new doctrines, nor a book of meditations on Christian theology, but the memoirs of a mystic who has had the courage to see reality and therefore was full of compassion and love for all beings and all things, who delighted in everything and in nothing. In a sense, these are autobiographical. They portray the painful route by which Tony was led in the last years of his life to divest himself of all ideologies, to be alone. These deal primarily with the theme of love and obstacles to love, attachments, desires, greed, in one word, conditionings, and how one may be freed from these and come to see, come to love. These are powerful meditations to help us break out of our prisons of conditioning, free us from our formulae which prevent us from seeing reality. These lead us to realise that in order to reach truth, we need a heart that divests itself of all its programming, all its self-interest, a heart that has nothing to protect and nothing to ambition for, and hence is fearless and free. These meditations challenge some of the commonly accepted theories of life, that you can love only when you feel deeply loved by someone, etc. They abound in enigmatic statements. You can love only when you are alone. Love is. Love has no objects, etc. Tony helps us to peep into the mystery that is love. I do not expect all to agree with Tony. Many may not want to see what he is pointing at. He was aware that many would prefer their prison walls to the freedom outside. Some would want to merely ameliorate their prison conditions. He hoped that a few would have the courage to break out of their prisons and want to see reality and be changed by this seeing. Some would blame him for looking at everything from such a personal angle and for neglecting the social, structural dimensions of reality. He was not blind to these. He was interested rather in presenting a fundamental attitude required in all social reformers, revolutionaries, Christians, Hindus, atheists, anyone. An attitude like the Nishkama Karma of the Indian tradition, or what Tony calls the mysticism of non-profit actions, which is necessary in anyone who wants to contribute to the building up of a more just and humane society. There is, no doubt, a certain amount of repetition, but without sacrificing some of his precious insights, the repetitions could not be avoided. Joseph Mattam, S.J., Ahmedabad, 7th of February, 1994. Preface. Tony de Mello, along with Dick McHugh and Joe Aispen, presented the classes and directed the therapy at the Sadhana Institute in Alavla. I was privileged to have the opportunity to visit India and to take part in the 1985-86 Maxi program. We had group sessions 5 hours a day, 5 days each week. While everyone looked forward to the stimulating exchanges and discoveries of class, the highlight of the day occurred at 7 a.m, at the dark hour of the morning. Tony would present an original meditation that would last about 20 minutes. It was definitely original, as you will observe. He regularly composed each one the night prior to presenting it. Meditation indeed, and of the highest calibre. The 40 people who heard these unusual ideas and insights in the chapel were inspired to dialogue about them and apply them to their lives. I have looked forward since my Maxi experience to seeing these meditations published. I think there must be at least 100 more of these meditations in some nook or cranny, for Tony never missed morning meditation. For him, meditation was fun. It was just another one of many delightful highlights in the day of a mystic. Since receiving the first printing of Call to Love, I have used the meditations with more than 50 retreat groups with remarkable results. Depending on the variety of the congregation and the disposition of the individuals, I have used abbreviated renditions and modified versions. Each meditation in its entirety is most appropriate while one is engaged in the Ignatian exercises while on retreat, or when there is ample time for reflection. I would recommend the highlighted version with people who are unfamiliar with de Mello's spirituality and with large groups. This shorter adaptation is also conducted for occasions when there are time restrictions. May you enjoy many soul feelings and delight in the divine reality that surrounds you. James R. Dolan, S.J., Rochester, New York, USA. I did this separate video just to cover the introduction of the book, Call to Love. I will record the 31 meditations separately.